A very good morning to all the students of class 11th political science. And students, from this lecture we are going to start a new chapter, and the chapter name you can see here is local governments. This is chapter number 8 of your NCERT book. So you must be wondering that we were doing a chapter that is executive. We had already taken up the two parts, but I have stopped that chapter. We will be continuing that chapter later on, but we will finish this chapter local government before that. The reason being, recently CBSE had updated the new revised syllabus, and according to that your entire two books have been distributed according to term 1 and term 2. So three chapters from first book, that is Indian Constitution at Work, will be a part of term 1, and other three chapters will be included from the part B book that I will be describing you in the class. As from 2nd of August we are going to have the physical classes in the school, so I will explain you in the class that what is going to be the syllabus for term 1. But you need to remember that 50% of the syllabus will be coming for the term 1 and rest 50% for the term 2. So for the term 1, the chapters we have done already is Constitution why and how, including the rights in the Indian Constitution which was merged into that chapter. Then we had read about elections and representation. In that case we had finished two important chapters of our syllabus. That is why I am doing third chapter, which is a part of first term. Okay, and after that we'll do three more chapters of the second book, that is political theory. So let's begin this, and talking about executive, that is going to be a part of term 2. So after finishing the term 1 exams, we'll do that chapter of executive, the remaining part. Okay, so the local government, let's take the introduction part of this chapter, that is local governments. First, I will read the introduction of your book, then I will give you a few examples to understand this local governments. Basically, this is going to be introductory lecture where we will be talking about the content of this chapter. Okay, so in a democracy, it is not sufficient to have an elected government at the center and at the state level, because mostly we see there is an elected government at the central level, that is the central government, and at the state level, that is the state government, and the most important significance is given to these two governments. But it is also necessary that even at the local level there should be an elected government to look after the local affairs. But here they are saying that it is equally important to have a local level government also, so that elected government, and that should be a elected government in a democratic form of government, and this is also called direct democracy, to look into the local affairs, because whatever are the local affairs, local problems, desires and aspirations of the people of a local region, basically the problems and challenges which they are facing in everyday life, that can be realized, and various policies can be implemented by the local people or the local leader or the local government only. Central government or the state government cannot know the affairs or the problems of the local region. Okay, so to solve the problem of the people, there is a necessity that we must have a local government also, but it should be an elected government. So we will be talking about the whole structure of local government, that how local governments are elected, how people are elected, what are the various structure of local governments, tiers of local governments. Okay, so in this chapter you will study the structure of local government in our country. So basically we will focus on our country, that is India, and we will see what is the structure of local government in India. You will also study the importance, this is very important, why we are forming or establishing local governments. After 1992 there has been a recognition to the local governments, where it was made mandatory for all the state governments to have a local government in place. Okay, so it was made mandatory because it was realized with time that there is an importance of local government. So in this chapter we will talk about what is the importance and significance of local government for the local people. Okay, and ways to give them independent power, and what are the ways where we can give them certain important or independent powers, so that they can act on particular functions, they can be given certain subjects on which they can make their independent decisions, which is relevant to only local areas or local regions. So after studying this chapter, you will know the importance of local government bodies. Okay, and most important, we will talk about, mostly this chapter is centered around these two topics, because you have already been studying the local government's importance of local government in the junior classes. Since class 6 this topic had already come up, and recently in class 10th you have studied this complete topic of local government and their structure. But the new thing here which you will be studying is about the provision made by the 73rd and 74th amendments in the constitution. There were two important amendments proceeded, that is 73rd and 74th. So we will see and read what was the provision of 73 and 74 amendments, what were the changes and developments brought for the local governments under these amendments of the constitution. And finally we'll work on the functions and responsibilities. Since we'll understand the importance, we'll understand these two amendments and their provisions within it. Of course we'll understand the functions and responsibilities of local government. We are forming the local governments, so there is some purpose, there is some aim for which we have to put in place these local governments. Okay, so there are major objectives of local governments, so we'll talk about their functions and responsibilities. Very first question which you can see here is why local government. It means we are trying to understand why do we require local governments. Since we have a strong central government, we have strong state governments, various subjects have been divided between these two important government organs. Okay, like we talk about the concurrent list, we talk about the union list, we talk about the state list, residuary list. These are the lists where various subjects have been mentioned, and that what are the functions of these central government, state government. Okay, so there is a clear-cut division according to the constitution. Proper lists are there. So in that case, why do we require local governments? Because previously, before 1992 or 1993, it used to be the responsibility of the state government to frame laws for the local governments, and it was not mandatory for every state to have local governments or panchayati raj into functional state. So it was optional. It was up to the state whether they wanted to have a local government, they wanted to follow the panchayati system or panchayati institution or not. But let's understand here, I'm going out of the track now. Why local governments? What is the requirements? To understand this question, why do we require local governments in a society like India, where we have a huge diversity, people with different aspirations, desires, different religion, customs, languages, so it is difficult to manage such a society. So why do we require local governments, although we already had central and state governments? So with the help of two stories have been given in your NCERT book, and these two stories are important to understand the significance, that why local government is important. Okay, so with the help of these two examples you will able to understand. Okay, so the first story is of a lady. Her name is Geeta Rathore, belongs to Jamunia Talab Gram Panchayat, Sehor district, Madhya Pradesh. It means we are talking about a talab or a gram panchayat or a rural area of Madhya Pradesh. Simply you can understand this lady Geeta Rathore, she belongs to a region of Madhya Pradesh. Okay, to a talab gram panchayat it's written. She was elected sarpanch in 1995. Okay, so she was elected as a sarpanch of her gram panchayat, okay, talab, from a reserved seat. So here her seat was reserved, but in 2000 the village people rewarded her for her admirable work. Once she was elected in 1995, but she was got a reserved seat. But again when elections were held in 2000, all the people of the village, they voted her and they rewarded her for whatever work she has done, admirable work, by electing her again. People had now elected her again. The reason being, this time from a non-reserved seat. This time she was elected from a non-reserved seat. What was the reason? Although she was a housewife, Geeta had grown into a leader, displaying political far-sightedness. Okay, so although she was a housewife, but once she got the opportunity to be the sarpanch of a village in 1995, she had worked for various growth and development of the society, bringing various governmental policies for the development of the people of the village. So she had harnessed the collective energy of her panchayat and renovated water tanks. So what were the work which she has done? Developmental works. She had in place water tanks. She built the school buildings, construct village roads, fight against domestic violence. Whenever there were problems relating to domestic violence, she was stood by the females who are facing this problem, and atrocities against women. So whatever the problems women were facing, that was tackled by Geeta Rathore very well, for which people had rewarded her by electing her again in 2000, that too from a non-reserved seat. Okay, created environment awareness. She also created environmental awareness at her panchayat system, and encourage afforestation. It means planting of trees, water management. So you can see she was working so hard in the various aspects, various dimensions for the growth, development, plus for the awareness, she was working for the environment. So we can see how she was working. So one example was this. So this was we can say possible how she was working, because she was elected as the sarpanch in 1995 of a particular village or a district. If this local government would have been direct under the control of the state government would have not understood and realized the problem of this particular region. They would have not, in fact, they would have built the roads and schools. These are the common things. But like she had stood for the people or the females who are facing domestic violence or atrocities, environmental awareness, encouraging the afforestation. So these are some of the important things which only a local person can understand the real problems of a particular region. So we can understand that why local governments are so important. This region has grown so well, developed so well, just because here we have a aware person like Geeta Rathore into a administration. So this is how local government is very important for the growth and development. It's not just the provisions have been written down in the constitution and they will work on its own. We have to bring them into practice, okay, for which local government is going to play a very important role when it comes to the local region. Now let's see the other story. One story was this, and you have to remember this story also, then we'll relate them. So there is another story of yet another woman achiever. So there was also another woman, same like Geeta Rathore. She was the president or sarpanch, we can say, same. She was the sarpanch of the village in Madhya Pradesh, but she is the sarpanch of Gram Panchayat of Venga Vasal village of Tamil Nadu. She was from Madhya Pradesh. Now this is of South India, Tamil Nadu. She is the president, that is the sarpanch of Gram Panchayat. In 1997, the Tamil Nadu government allotted 2 hectares of land to 71 government employees. In 1997, what happened? The state government, Tamil Nadu's state government, allotted 2 hectare lands of 71 government employees. It means 71 employees who were working under the Tamil Nadu government. Around 2 hectares of land was given to these people, allotted to these people. This piece of land fell within the vicinity of the Gram Panchayat. But out of these 2 hectares of land, some piece of land was under this Gram Panchayat. We are talking about this lady. She was the sarpanch of Gram Panchayat of this village, Vengavasal village of Tamil Nadu. So some part of this land which was allotted to 71 government employees, that fell under this vicinity of the Gram Panchayat. On the instructions of the higher authorities, the district collector of Kanchipuram directed the president of Gram Panchayat to pass a resolution endorsing the allotment of the said land for the purpose already decided. So here district collector, that is DM also, okay, so he had given order to this president, the Gram Sabha, this woman from this Gram Sabha, the president or the sarpanch, that she will have to pass a resolution endorsing the allotment, that they are allotting this land to the 71 government employees as already decided by the state government. But this president or sarpanch and the Gram Panchayat refused to pass such an order. But the people of that village, that is we can say Gram Panchayat, the member of Gram Panchayat, and their sarpanch, that is the president, they refused to follow such an order, and the collector issued an order. But the collector issued an order to inquire the land. The Gram Panchayat filed a writ petition in the Madras. So this Panchayat, they had filed a petition and a complaint in the Madras High Court that the land of this village was being forcefully given to the government employees of Tamil Nadu. So a complaint was filed here, okay, against the collector's action. Whatever, collector was forcefully taking the land, because the single judge bench of the High Court upheld the collector's order and ruled that there was no need to take the Panchayat's consent. Here something else happened which was not expected by the Panchayati people or the president of that Panchayat, where High Court said that it was not compulsory to take the consent of the Panchayat. It was collector's order and it should be followed. The Panchayat appealed to now the Panchayat had no other options to appeal in the higher court, so they appealed in the division bench against the single judge order. So against this order also they appealed in the division bench. In this order, the division bench reversed the order, but in this again, when there was a division bench, the order was being reversed order of the single judge. The judge held that the government order amount not to only infringement of the power of the panchayatis but a gross violation of the constitutional status. Here, this judgment given by the divisional bench, here according to them, that government order amounted not to only to infringement of powers of the panchayat, it was also the violation of the constitution if the people were not given their land, the village people. Okay, so these two examples, let's see what do you understand by these two examples now. Both these stories are not isolated incidents. They are representative of a large transformation that is taking place across India, especially after constitutional status of accorded local government. So after 1993, local government has formally got the recognition in the Indian constitution, although there was always a mention of the local government, but it was never into practice. But after 1993, there was a clear-cut provision relating to the local governments and the powers and responsibilities which were given to the local governments, which were looking after the affairs of the local region. So these two examples show that there has been a transformation now, where we can see how aware these panchayat or the presidents were, where they looked after the development, they have made the awareness between the people. Also, they fought for the gram panchayat, the land of the gram panchayat. So here we can see why local government is important. If in this place also there was no panchayati system, this land could have been easily acquired by the Tamil Nadu government and allotted to 71 government employees. So we can see what is the importance of local government here. Local government is government at the village and district level. Now they are telling you what do you understand by local government. It is a form of government which is at the village and district level. Local government is about government closest to the common people. If we talk about the local government, this government is closest to the common people, because we are not directly in connection to the state government or the central government. We never have met the president, prime minister or the chief ministers or the cabinet ministers. But when it comes to local government, we are very closely linked to the leaders of the local, the panchayat, the local gram panchayats. Okay. Local government is about government that involves the day-to-day life and problems of ordinary citizens. So what is the function and objectives of local government? Basically, it involves the day-to-day life and problems of ordinary citizens. So it finds solution to the basic problems of the people. Local government believes that local knowledge and local interests are essential ingredients of democratic decision making. Here local government believes that local knowledge and local interests, because the local knowledge and local interests can only be understood by the local government itself, because those people are also a part of their particular region. So it is an essential ingredient for democratic decision. If you want that we are in a true democratic country where everyone should get a clear representation on the basis of idea of equality, for that local government is very important ingredient. They are also necessary for efficient and people friendly administration. The advantage of local government is, this is a complete answer if there is a question why local government is important or what is the importance and significance of local government. These are the points which you can write down. The advantage of local government is that it is so near to the people. Okay, so this is the biggest advantage, that this government is very close to the local people. The advantage of local government is that it is so near to the people. It is convenient for the people to approach the local government for solving their problem. If I am facing any problem in my region relating to street lights, roads, drainage, water problem, anything relating to any policies or the plans of the government which I am not getting the benefit out of it, I can go to the local people here. I can go to the sarpanch, I can go to the panchayat members, and my problem will be solved quickly within minimum cost. In the story of Geeta Rathore, as we had studied the story of the Geeta Rathore, now we noticed that she was able to bring about significant changes. She had brought so many changes in this region, Jamunia Talab, which was a village we can say in Madhya Pradesh, because her proactive role as Sarpanch of the Gram Panchayat. Because she was a Sarpanch of the Gram Panchayat and people were very closely connected to her. Vinjani Varsala village of Tamil Nadu is able to still retain. They were able to retain its land. Otherwise, this land was given to the 7 members of the state government. It was allotted to them, but they managed to retain it, right to decide what to do with it, because the restlessness effort of the Gram Panchayat, because they had made lot of effort. They went to the High Court, then other court also. Okay. So local government can be very effective in protecting the local. So if we have to protect the local interest, the local government will always be very effective and very significant for the people. Democracy is about meaningful participation. So what do you understand by democracy? Democracy is always all about meaningful participation of the people. When people are getting the true representation in the government, central government, state government, or the local government, that is called the true democracy. This we have already studied in the junior classes also. It is also about accountability. Of course, when we talk about the democracy, in democracy it means our government, whoever is the administration, they are accountable to the people. They have to answer to the question of the people. A strong and vibrant local government ensure both active. But when we talk about a local government and strong and vibrant local, they are active participation and purposeful accountability. So here we will see they are actively participating for the local affairs, and they are also easily accountable. Geeta Rathor's story is one of committed participation. How we could see that she made a significant change in her area relating to development. And Wengen Vasal village Gram Panchayat recently efforts to secure its rights. They secured their rights of land over its own land were the example of mission to ensure accountability. It is at the level of the local government that common citizens can be involved in decision making. So at the local government, all the local people are involved in the decision making concerning their life, their needs, and above all the developments. Whatever the issues which are have an effect on the life of the common people, those people are directly connected to the local government. Okay, it is necessary that it is necessary that democracy tasks with be performed locally should be left in the hands of the local people and their representatives. So in a democracy, it is important that all the local issues should be left to the hands of the people and their representatives of the local region. For that, independent powers and functions should be given to the local governments. Common people are more familiar with their local governments than with the government at the state. If we talk about the common people, we are not so familiar with the people are sitting at the state level or at the central level, but we are very, very much closely familiar with the people who are being elected for the local government. They belong to our own area. They are also more concerned with what local government does or has failed to do as a direct bearing and impact on their day-to-day life. And the people are also aware that is the local government functioning properly, is the local government using its powers efficiently. So all that is observed by the common people when it comes to local government. So for the growth and development of local government, we can see there are so many examples we have seen here. So you can understand and you can note down many important points if there is a question, what is the importance and significance of local government in a country like India. Okay, so with this we come to this introductory part. In the next lecture we will talk about growth of local government in India. Particularly we will be talking how the growth has taken when it comes to local government in India. Okay, till then, thank you, take care.